Welcome to tonight's episode of my podcast, your Escape Podcast. Thanks everyone for listening in. If you're joining in for the first time, my name is Kolapo and I'll be your favorite host. For regulars, I'm happy to be back again with another great show. And on today's show, we are having a great conversation with a visionary entrepreneur, Dr. Success Ojo. She's a mastermind behind Gmail AI, a platform designed to streamline curriculum curation, content collaboration for teachers and creators. She's a renowned expert with 2 decades experience in cybersecurity, risk management, e-learning technology audit, and artificial intelligence. She's also the founder of Views Tech Institute, which has empowered over 5,000 individuals with in-demand skills, and co-founder of Go-To Course, a virtual school creation platform. And throughout this episode, we explore Dr. Success' journey as an entrepreneur, founding Views Tech Institute and Go-To Course. We touch on AI in education, women in AI, and the future of Gmail AI. Thank you, Dr. Success Ojo. Welcome to the Curious K podcast.
Thank you. It's my pleasure being here today.
Absolutely. Congratulations on the launch of Gmail 2.0. I believe that's a that's a great way to
Okay.
start.
Yeah, we just launched it about 2 months ago, and it's really, really doing so well in the market.
Absolutely. I believe we'll talk about that a lot in the course of the conversation. All right. So let's get into it. Can you tell us about your background?
Well, you've said a lot about it already, and I'm a certified e-learning expert. I'm also cybersecurity audit and risk management expert. I'm an educator creating solutions for other educators. And basically, my journey into IT started over 2 decades ago, why I find myself learning cybersecurity. And from there, I actually joined a number of firms to ensure that cybersecurity solutions has been deployed across enterprise and systems. And after then, I find myself in the United States. And since then, I've been opportune to train a number of tech professionals. And I've also been opportune to also lead cybersecurity efforts in a number of organizations. And recently, I find myself leading um, edtech solutions at GoToCourse. And presently, I'm the CEO at GoToCourse.
Great, sounds good. So let's talk about the go-to course, right? That is part of the key reason why we're having this podcast today. So tell us about the platform. I understand your experience has been around in technology, training people in some of these in-demand skill sets. What point did you move to start go-to course? Yeah. What was the process like?
Actually, the whole thing actually started when I moved into United States. Despite having more than 2 degrees back in Africa, I find myself in the United States and unable to secure, let me say, find myself to get a good job in corporate America. And so I went to college and I did my nursing program. But shortly after finishing my nursing program, I realized that it's not something I want to do. Despite spending so much to train myself to be a registered nurse, I wanted to do
Mhm.
something much more. So I've joined boot camps and I went to train myself into what I find myself doing back in Africa, which is tech. And so I went to a number of tech boot camps. And from there, I finished my training. I was able to secure my first job. And I did so well in such a way that despite the hurdles I've actually faced, I was able to like get 6 great offers back to back. And that was how my high tech career started in United States. And from there, I've been opportune to lead several teams. And I let me say that I was able to like push myself until I became the vice president cybersecurity in one of the biggest oil and gas in United States. It was at that point that I was actually moved to also help other people that are struggling to do the same thing that I did. And started gradually to start training. I started with just training them in my house. And before I knew it, a lot of them actually got job. And the number of people turning in for the training went beyond the capacity of my home. I decided to rent two-room office so that we could be able to train more people. And within 6 months, we actually did expansion more than three times. And from
Wow.
there, yeah, people started calling in the success story moved far and near, and people started enrolling for the training, and that's how Rich Tech Institute got started. And we're able to up to date train over 10,000 people that are doing so well, and we've been able to train a number of people that are now occupying a number of reputable positions, executive positions across different firms across United States and Europe.
Amazing. I mean, I like that story. And I also like you to tell us what specific skill did you learn at the boot camps? Or was it focused on cybersecurity specifically?
Yeah, actually, I would say that it's cybersecurity, risk management, governance, and risk compliance. So right now, I would say that it's cybersecurity GRC, and it's and I also, how will I say that I've also been able to take other certifications alongside. Right now, I have over 44 certifications in IT.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
and I've also
amazing.
been able to further my career. I also did my doctorate, and basically, right now I'm also leading people to do the same thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, because I mean, it's very interesting for me to see that IT background moving very quick in the ladder of corporate America. And at the point, moving it also training, right? Training people leading to the start of like Tech, which is an tech company. And of course, you're already in the IT world, exposed to all these new technologies. And how did go-to course then start? I know I heard it's one of your interviews that was during COVID. So can you talk to us about that a bit more? Then maybe we can move into Gmail. And also if you can tell us about the connection between Gmail and GoToCourse. Is it the same company or is it Gmail the product of GoToCourse and how that is related?
Okay, so like I said, we started Tech just for us to train immigrants that want to skill in tech, so that they'll be able to move into corporate America and be able to follow my steps. But along the side, we realized that people started joining us across United States, across Europe, from Africa. And we want everybody to be able to learn, if we are not physically in class, we are joining virtually. We want everybody to have access to the same level of training and also materials. So we started looking for platforms that we could actually use to train people that is affordable and at the same time that is user friendly. And that is how we decided to okay, when we didn't see something that it's really matched what we actually want, we decided to build GoTo Course. GoTo Course was actually built just for Risk Institute. And
Mm,
we mandated it that whether you're joining online or you're joining virtually, you have to make sure that you register on GoTo Course. We never knew that we are doing ourselves a great favor because just barely less than 4 months into rolling out GoTo Course and ensuring that all students are enrolled on GoTo Course platform, COVID came and
mm,
that were thinking that they are actually fortunate to attend a physical class. They could not even class really come out of their houses. So
yeah.
everybody ended up learning virtually on GoTo course. And one thing that is so unique during COVID period when other schools were thinking of how they will continue learning and how they will actually survive, learning during COVID period, we are really settled. We never closed down our school for a single day because all materials are online. Our students are used to learning online. Our teachers are used to teaching online, and everything is actually really well organized because everything in the school setting has been virtualized on GoTo course. So we never closed our school for one day. And so during COVID, instead of us to have reduction in enrollment, completion, we are, in fact, our enrollment 5x.
I thought.
Our revenue, we have increase in revenue and stuff like that because of go to course. So immediately after
Mm,
the COVID period, we find ourselves, people turn on to us that they want to do the same thing that we did. And we thought of it that instead of teaching them to build another platform and going to the stress, the same level of stress we went to building Go to Course, we won't say it's actually easy, but we're able to do it. We decided to like optimize Go to Course platform so that we can allow all other schools to build a virtual system. One great thing we learned during COVID is just that when you have a virtual school, it's actually help your school to be resilient because anything can happen at any time. The school will not be closed. Then again, it gives students it elongates a kind of like time spent learning instead of 9 to 5 or maybe 8 to 4. You can actually you through virtual school it will be a kind of like 24 hours, 24 hours, 7 days in a week and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so this is what we're actually teaching to grow to course. And people decided to like onboard their school on go to course. And right now we have over 2,000 schools that are using our platform. And on go to course, we have knowledge base that we call Gmind AI. And since about 2 years ago, we've implemented Gmind AI on go to course. And so that teachers could create their learning materials, their lesson plan, they could actually create their assessment, their grading, and everything inside Go to Course. But after a time, we realized that only people that are enrolled on Go to Course have access to Gmind because Gmind was
Okay.
inside Go to Course. And people wanted to use Gmind. Students wanted to use Gmind as I go to course. And so we decided to also implements Gmind AI as a standalone product so that whether you are enrolled on Go to Course or you're not enrolled on Go to Course, you will be able to have access to Gmind AI. And right now, Gmind AI is a standalone product, and we have over 4 million educators using Gmind AI across the globe.
Wow, that's amazing. I like that number. And uh, and the growth. So when did you launch the Gmail AI product as a standalone?
I'll say that June 2023, we launched Gmind
Okay.
1.0, right? Yeah. And after a year, learning from our users, we'll be able to create all other features and also improve, let me say, upgrade the components that we have on Gmind AI. And we actually created it with teachers using Gmind AI 1.2.
All right. Thank you for clarifying that. So I would like to talk about the Gmail AI now. I understand you said building the go-to course was, I mean, a very tough process, but you're able to make it happen. And, but to understand building AI product too is very tough, right? If you want to build from scratch, or even if you are leveraging APIs. So can you tell us how complex was it building Gmail AI? I've been hearing amazing feedback about that product. You also mentioned you started building your career in the US in technology. So was this built by local talent as well? But let us understand how was it? What was that process of like building? And who were the engineers that was involved in that process,
Well,
locally or internationally?
yes, we have over 15 engineers that we work together building Gmind AI and all other non-tech team members. But the truth is, building Gmind AI, I will say that it's interesting, a little bit demanding, but it's very interesting. And I learned a lot during the process. I'm actually one of those people that actually work at the back end too, building Gmind AI, so I can say a lot about it. It's really, really interesting. And I would say that more than 60% of people that do Gmind AI are local talent. And we learned a lot during the process, but it's very interesting. We leverage API and we also have our own LLM that we call Imoero because we really want to.
Moira. Okay,
Imoero,
that's Yoruba. For people listening, yeah, if
yes.
you are not Yoruba, Moira, it's a Yoruba one.
Yeah, so Gmind AI is built on our own LLM that we call Imoero, and we also leverage on the OpenAI. But building it to make it, because we are educators, building for educators and building with educators. We understand what we want to achieve. And so working with the engineers, ensuring that it fits the purpose and it's also secure to use was actually a key focus, and I'm happy that we're able to achieve it. We don't just want users to use it to achieve the purpose alone. We also want to build a very, very secure platform and a very transparent platform. And we also want to build a platform that it is not built out of context, free of bias, and at the same time, we want to reduce hallucination as much as possible. So building with context is very, very important for us. And all this we factor while actually building GMID.
Great. You mentioned Imara, which is your own tool, your
Yes.
own learning language models. Can you share with us maybe how many parameters you have on that model? When OpenAI launched, I think in 2022 or so, it was like about 75 billion parameters. I also heard you in another interview where you mentioned people are using this product to teach in local languages, right? Maybe like Hausa, or maybe used to teach in chemistry and all that. So can you just tell us a bit more about some of the work that has gone into that product so far? And then maybe after that, then we talk about funding too, because building these products can be really expensive. So how did you go about that in terms of raising fund, or was this a bootstrap project from the start?
Okay. I will take it one after the other. Well, when it comes to the issue of GMID AI, the main focus is for us to, we're building it for people with little or no AI knowledge, most especially educators and e-learning content creators. And we understand that a whole lot of them, they don't have knowledge of prompt engineering. At the same time, they also want to make sure that they break barriers in terms of teaching. So we understand that they need tools for that. We also understand the fact that they also want to have original content. We don't want the whole teaching landscape to be filled with AI generated content. So all this we actually factored in building Gmind AI. And like I said, we are educators building for educators with also educators. So when we're actually building Gmind AI, we focus more on those advanced features like collaboration in building content, be able to invite your peers to build content with you, translating content into local languages. You can imagine creating physics in Hausa, in Yoruba, maths in Spanish, in French, and stuff like that. All this we factored in building Gmind AI, those key features. We also ensure that we have humanizer so that from the text editor, you can humanize your content. So apart from focusing on the core components, we also ensure that we build all additional features to make it robust and very useful for teachers. And that is the magic. We want teachers to be able to build content, high quality content consistently at scale. You look at all other AI platforms. If you are actually generating content, you have to focus more on your prompt. And if your prompt is not quality enough, then you will not actually get good response. And those times, maybe it's going to be those days that you are able to generate, be able to give the AI platform a prompt, or let me say high quality prompt, then you'll be able to get high quality response. The other time where you're unable to, then you will not be able to have it. And possibly when you are not giving enough context into your prompt, there tends to be hallucination. All this, it's what we've decided to reduce to the barest minimum on Gmind by focusing on prompt assist, by focusing on translator, by focusing on humanizer, why we also created a platform where teachers can generate different type of content in different types, in text, images, video, slide, all in one platform. And we also ensure that it is so easy to use that no matter your knowledge in terms of using technology to support your work, it should be so easy for you to use. So all this is what we actually focus on building Gmind AI. And so we also ensure that the content, when it comes to the issue of the data we use in building in Miro, it is highly local. So definitely when it comes to the issue of bias, it is reduced. I don't want to say it's not there, but it's reduced to a very
Yeah.
minimum. Yeah, because the data we use in building a mirror, they are all local datas, and they are not out of context as much as possible. And so, and you also make mention in terms of funding. Well, GMind AI is actually built by educators, community of educators, and so it is highly funded by the community of educators. That's where those of us that have come together to build GMind AI, where it's actually being funded by the community.
Great. So there are two things I'd like you to talk a bit more, just to break it down. You mentioned prompt engineering, right? That might sound complex. Prompt engineering, what does it mean? So I'd like you to just break that down in simple terms. One. The second one is hallucination. When people hear that AI is hallucinating, that can be, it might not be easy to understand. Does AI hallucinate? So I'd just like you to break down those two words, the context of what you've been talking about.
Well, prompt engineering is the technique for actually querying an AI platform. Basically, you being able to like express in simple terms and in clarity as much as possible what you want from the AI platform. So I can say that is a technique used in natural language processing and machine learning, particularly with involves designing prompt to guide the model's output in specific direction or towards a certain format. So if that specific instruction is not clear enough, then the response that will actually be generated from the model, or let me say from the platform, will actually not be as quality. And when we are talking about hallucination is one of the problem we have with AI platforms when there is lack of context. And so it's kind of like in a layman language, to start saying things that is not, it is devoid of
They have
meaning.
no idea. They are just roaming around.
In a situation whereby it is actually, it's one of the challenging issue in AI, and in such a way that it will just be generating errors, or let me say talking
Yeah.
out of. So it is very necessary that when you are crafting your prompt, you have to make sure that it is very much clear and you include all necessary context as much as possible. Maybe you want a man wearing green shirts sitting in an office. You won't just say a man sitting in an office to give you something else that may be not out of context of what you want, because AI will try to like fill in the gap for you, and you don't want that situation. You want as much as possible to be specific, to be clear with what you want, so that AI will be able to like generate something exact or close to what you want. And so that's one of the things that we actually work on Gmind AI to assist user in prompt assist. So we do the prompt engineering for the users. We ask necessary questions. The user provide the question. Then we, the Gmind AI platform, is actually the one doing the prompt engineering at the back end, so that the response high quality at all consistently.
I like that layer or additional layer of detail that you put into the product, and the fact that you're actually localizing it. And another part I really find interesting is just reducing the bias, right? In terms of some of the data that has been fed into all these large language models that are not relevant to Africa, to Nigeria. And the fact that you're actually working on this, I think it's really amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So let's talk about your business model, right? I mean, of course, you understand how Roostech started, how you evolved to go to course. Now Gmail, independent platform with over 4 million users. Is it just subscription based? Are you also opening up APIs for other maybe learning management system to plug into to leverage your to just tell us about how you're currently monetizing the product and maybe your plans for it in the future.
Oh, okay. I think that's a very interesting one. Well, our business model is simply subscription, and we have three plans. We have our basic plan, we have our premium plan, and advanced plans. And basically, it is people pay in naira. All in Nigeria, we ensure that people pay in naira, while in other currencies they pay in dollars. And for now, our API is not open. It's not open, but very soon we look into also giving let me say maybe we're looking into doing that in future, but for now, our API is not open. It's strictly for educators that really want to create high quality content consistently and not to at scale.
Great. So, as someone deeply involved in higher and education, one of the biggest challenge you have in Nigeria is the out of school children, for example. So how do you see AI, transforming the education landscape, maybe even reducing the out of school children? Is there a way that is related? Uh, I mean, it would just be great for you to talk more about your efforts in terms of how you can see technology, maybe not necessarily AI. I mean, there are different projections that, the population of Africa or Nigeria will double, for example, by the end of the century. We are going to be 500 million people thereabout. So, what do you see in the future, and how can technology play a part reducing out of school students, and how AI can also play a part in that future?
Yes, absolutely. When it comes to the issue of educational technology really playing a huge part in inclusion and possibly in ensuring that we're able to reach out of school children, I feel that technology is the best way to go. And if you look at Go to Course, a lot of schools that are even we have a program that we call Hard to Reach. And we're working with the Hard to Reach community to ensure that virtual schools is being created so that people from the urban, or let me say people from the city, can are being supported to train people in the rural community, leveraging our platform. So that is one way whereby technology can be used to be able to like buffer that, to reduce, to make sure that we are able to help them. Then another thing is just that a whole lot of teachers too are now even parents through AI, they can help in their community to be able to like build different type of plans, lesson plans, and also different type of materials to help people in their community. So which makes every one of us teachers, you know, parents that are also parents too can also come together, put themselves in different type of let me say different type of virtual platforms they can leverage on AI to be able to like generate content which they can use in training in their different communities, from churches to mosque to, let me say, social groups within the community, and they can leverage on different type of AI, different type generate different type of materials to be able to teach. So it goes beyond just teachers in the school teaching. With AI, everybody can become teacher. And so we are also doing a kind of training right now, training teachers to be able to like train, let me say, all other teachers on how to use AI so that at the end of the day, a whole lot could be done outside school. A whole lot could be done beyond the school, because when teachers now have access to such material and such platform, they'll be able to like do a whole lot more.
So since you've launched, I'm just curious to know what has been like the most interesting feedback you've had about your product that you're like, wow, wanted to do this to make impact, but this story is just mind blowing for me.
Well, I will actually talk of students that are still training in the teachers training colleges. We're actually
Okay.
working with them, training them on how to use AI. And a whole lot of them, it's really a mind-blowing opportunity for them, because a whole lot of them right now, their interest in teaching has really, really increased. And they are also learning how to do their work more effectively, easier, and how to also do it creatively. So I think that the rate at which the effort, let me say that the stress that teachers put in teaching has really reduced. And right now, I think we have teachers now that are more creative, and teachers now they are saving time, and this time that is being saved is used to focus more on teaching. Is used to focus more on teaching and supporting their students. You see, all those times that teachers use in creating all those administrative documentation, all those mundane tasks, right now, they are using it to, AI is actually helping them, is a great helper for them in that regard. And so the time is saved, they are now using it to support their children, which to me, I feel that all when we get feedback like this make us excited and want us to like work with them more to ensure that they really know how to use AI in classroom and beyond classroom, and also to support their work greatly.
Yes, I mean, as you were talking about that, I just remember growing up, my mom, she's a retired teacher. Anytime she comes back, from a school, then she doesn't joke with her lesson notes, right? I mean, that's part of what I know her for, growing up. That lesson note is constant. She's very diligent, marking her notes, just doing that every day. All right, Mondays through Friday. I can just imagine that picture was just playing in my mind in terms of, okay, now a typical teacher can have that lesson notes prepared ahead, with the use of Gmind AI, for example. And that is, of course, making work more efficient and making teachers even have more time, like you said, for teaching, for their family. And of course, the content will be more researched in terms of the quality that will be delivered for the student. So as we round up, I would like you to talk about your role, as an advocate for women in AI, right? You started Tech, you've been training a lot of people, thousands of people. I believe there are a significant number of women in that pool. But now we're talking about artificial intelligence. I mean, there is still a lot that has to be done in that space. So what initiative or strategy do you think can be effective, for supporting or encouraging more women to enter the field of?
Well, we're actually doing a whole lot, but I will actually talk about encouraging early interest in STEM, engaging girls in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics at a young age can actually set the foundation for future interest in AI. Schools and communities, parents can play a pivotal role in ensuring, by providing resources and opportunity for young girls to explore and learn about STEM. Another thing is to ensure that visibility of successful women in AI can also inspire others to pursue similar paths. So mentorship is actually key in such a way that we organize different type of mentorship programs, giving aspiring women in AI the chance to connect with experienced professionals that can provide guidance, inspiration, and insights into the industry for them. Another thing is creating scholarship and funding opportunity. You know, when we offer scholarship and funding to women who wish to study AI, it can help them overcome financial barrier, and
Yeah.
thereby we'll be able to ensure that women have access to education and training in this field, which I feel that it is necessary and critical for women to be well represented in the industry. We can also organize network events and workshops in such a way that we organize women-centric AI workshop. We're having another one in September, whereby it's strictly for women. We're actually training women, to provide environments where these women can learn, connect, and gain confidence in AI. And basically, it's strictly for women because we just want one woman to be more represented in the industry. Another thing is also necessary for there to be inclusive workplace policies. We're also working with different companies and institutions to ensure that they should allow women to be able to talk about AI. Women should show them how to use AI. And at the same time, they should offer flexible work arrangements to support work-life balance. Basically, all these things, when we focus to give more environment for women to be more involved, I think that we'll be able to see more women playing critical and meaningful role within the industry.
Great. Uh, so is there any other thing you'd like to share with us as we round up?
Well, I want to actually talk about we believe our training program, most especially for teachers. Up to date, we have had trained over 40 teachers on AI, and we've also built communities of educators, basically that are championing the use of AI in schools. And before the end of the year, we're looking into training over 100,000 teachers. We're working with the government, and we're also working with different organizations. We're actually partnering with different international organizations to ensure that we train more teachers and we also expose more women into AI.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Success Ojo, for being on Curious Kid podcast. This has really been a very insightful, great conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and see you next time. Remember, always stay curious.